I chose to interview my mother-in-law, Gail, for the leadership interview project. She was a high school principal for 9 years. Prior to getting the education, she was a counselor, primarily working with youth that were battling substance abuse issues. She originally chose to get into education because she had a desire to intervene in their lives, before things kind of went downhill. Though she thought she could have a greater impact if she could get involved at an earlier point. She originally got into education by becoming a guidance counselor. And after doing that for a few years, she decided to pursue even more responsibility by becoming an administrator at the high school. My kind of two big takeaways from my interview with Gail was her democratic style to her leadership, her focus on the culture of the school, and the biggest takeaway was that to her, it all kind of came down to managing relationships in a successful and healthy manner. It was clear through my interview that she was always very receptive to feedback from her followers. She wanted the input of other people. She valued their input. She tried to give them the freedom to be creative in their job, whether that was teachers creating their own curriculum, or kids even having a say in what they were doing and kind of giving them a voice. She was always emphasizing that input from those who she was leading as a way to get a better buy-in and better motivate her employees. At times, she did say that the democratic style probably went maybe too far, to where she was on some hiring committees where she had a group of people that thought they should go one way, and she kind of had that gut feeling inside that told her it probably wasn't the best choice, but she kind of went along with the consensus among the rest of the group, and it kind of came to bite her in the end. Her focus, as I mentioned, was always about building the culture, and that kind of gets back to that democratic style of leadership that I already kind of mentioned. She wanted a culture where everybody felt included, that they felt that they were kind of all in it together, whether that be the parents, the students, the teachers. She was trying to always emphasize that amongst all the different stakeholders, that even though they may be coming at it from different angles and they may have their own individual desires and wants out of it, they were all working towards the same common goal. And as long as she could keep everybody kind of focused on that goal of getting the best possible education for the children and having them set up for the best setup for the success, whatever that success may be for the individual kids, if she could keep everybody focused on that, that was the easiest way to sort of keep everything moving along. And it was all about managing those relationships, both between her and the individuals, and then probably even more importantly, helping to manage those relationships between the other individuals, whether that be teacher, parent-teacher, teacher-student, whatever that case may be. One other thing that I did find to be kind of interesting was she said that the kids were the easiest part of the job, and that was kind of surprising to me at first. And I asked her a little bit more about it, and she said that whenever she had a situation with one of the kids that they had made a mistake or something had gone wrong, it was always easier for her to kind of write it off as a kid learning, or a learning experience of the youth, or part of the growing up process. And kind of being able to take that perspective always made it a little bit easier. So overall, she found that that made kind of those kids, the relationships with the kids, kind of be to actually be the easiest part of the job, which I found kind of surprising. Overall, in my interview with Gail, I think my biggest takeaway that you could, I think, apply to really any kind of field, any different field, whether it's education, corporate America, something like the military, is setting that culture can definitely be a challenging part of being a leader. But if you can effectively set the culture in a positive manner to set the culture in a positive manner so that you get the organization moving the direction you want it to move. At that point, it really becomes about just, facilitating the success of your followers or the success of your team. You get them on the right track, and then it's just really a matter of giving them the tools they need to succeed, and then just helping them stay along that path.